Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Warhammer tanks that have arrived back in Blitz store. Now, firstly, I don't know how they are coming back, if that's for gold, if that's for money, if you can purchase both of them as a bundle or if it's just singly. But of course there is the Predator, which we are going to look at first. Hit points on the Predator 1320, the turret 150, the hull 130 millimeters of armor. It's okay, not great, but it's not bad. Damage per minute is quite good for a heavy, 2453, and that's a 10.2 second magazine reload, and each shell is a 1.5 second shell reload, and it has three shells, sorry. 165 penetration, 210 on the APCR, and damage it does 180 on your AP, 145 on your APCR, and 250 on your HE. Aim time, not so great. I mean, it's not bad at 3.7, and the dispersion 0.319, and it only does have a very poor 5 degrees of gun depression. Now, normally 5 degrees is okay, but on a tank like the Predator that is so big, 5 degrees is very, very poor. Now, if you're in an E75, not an E75, if you're in an E25 and come up against a Predator, just face hug it. Just face hug it, and he cannot do jack shit. He can't do nothing to you, and it's so frustrating. I mean, just look how big the tank is. It's as big as my house. It's as big as my house, and there's only certain positions that you can go in. I mean, it doesn't just have to be an E25. Any low to the ground tanks you are going to struggle against if you are getting face hugged. So for me, that is the biggest downpour about this tank. And when this tank first come, I really, really wanted it. I mean, it looks so stupid that's because I wanted it. I mean, I like stupid looking tanks like the Lupus, but the gameplay for me is just not a good tank. And it's not a tank that comes into store and I'm thinking, you know, I want this tank. These Predator tank and the Vindicator is probably one of the only, it's two of the only tanks in the game. I mean, I'm only missing probably in total about 5-6 tanks, and these are two of them because they're tanks I don't want. Even though I do own a lot of premium tanks and I used to be a collector, I don't sit there and think, you know what, I'm just going to buy this tank. I'm not going to waste my money on it because I don't like the damn things, and I just don't think they're worth it. I don't know what the prices are coming for, but whatever the price is coming for, unless you can get them both for around, say, 10,000 gold for both of them, then that's not a bad deal. And it maybe because for that price, it might be worth thinking about buying. But any more than that, then I probably would stay away. Now, even if it comes for 10,000 gold, even if it comes for 7,000 gold for both tanks, I will not be buying these tanks because I just think they are absolute dog crap. I really do think they are useless. I think Bushka likes this tank, and I mean, you can have some good battles. I mean, this battle here, I'm on, what, 2.5, nearly 2, we're going to finish with 2.5k damage. Nothing special for a tier 7, but it's pretty good for a tier 7, but it's not nothing special. Now, along with the okayish armor, I mean, we haven't bounced anything this battle, and the poor gun depression. The penetration is not great either on your standard AP. The tank's quite slow, and for me, all them together, it doesn't add up to be a good tank. So I won't be purchasing this tank. I don't like it. I don't think it's going to be worth the money it's coming for, depending on how much it's going to come for. Whether it'll be for 10, I don't think it will be for 10,000 gold for both. I reckon it will be more because these tanks have only come a few times or maybe even once in Blitz store. It does make nice credits. I mean, that was the birthday of the tank, so we do make 145,000 credits. That is without boosters. That is just with the birthday. So it does make nice credits, but for me, I will not be purchasing the Predator. Now that brings us to the second Warhammer tank, and that is this ugly looking useless tank as well, and it is the Vindicator. Now the Vindicator, when this first come, people were like, wow, this looks so good. It looks stupid, but it looks so good. How you could be wrong. I mean, some people do like the tank, but I don't think so. Now, the armour is very troll. It's 120 mil on the front armour, on the front hull, but it has got a shed ton of spaced armour. All at the front is all spaced armour. So don't be shooting heat at the front of the bulldozer. So damage per minute is 2,736, which isn't so bad. It's got heat and heat, which is a big downfall with this tank. So if a tank's behind a building, or if there's spaced armor on a tank, you are screwed, because you've only got heat, and HE. High explosive is nice when it does 900. I mean, you do over 600 damage on your standard heat, just over 500 damage on your premium heat. Again, look, the thing that makes this tank absolutely shocking is the gun depression. 2 degrees, which I believe to be the worst in the game. 2 degrees of gun depression, and you really do suffer. Basically, it's got nothing. It's got no gun depression whatsoever. So if you're on a slight hill, then, which you're going to see this battle, if you're on a slight little hill, you're not getting that gun down, and you are only going to shoot what's in front of you. I mean, 10 degrees of gun arc to the left and the right is also nothing. So you have to literally face the enemy tank, which for me is a big downfall. It's the gun. If it had some gun depression, I know obviously just look at the tank, it can't have gun depression. But because of that gun depression, 2 degrees of gun depression, it's a poor tank. I don't see why anyone would want to buy this tank when you can just go and buy an SU-152. It's got pretty much the same gun-ish, although the SU-152 has got AP instead of heat on the normal round. But if you own an SU-152, do not get this tank. It really is not worth any money at all. The only way I would get this tank is if it's a freebie. That is the only way I'd ever want to get the tank, and if I'd ever play the tank on my account. Now, I'm on my press account for this because I'm just not interested. And you can see here, now we have the P43 BIS in front of us and the SU-100M1. So we're going to back up while we're on a reload. I mean, the DPM is really nice. The DPM is, for a tier 7 TD, is not too bad. Now, I do make a mistake here. So we have the SU in front of us and we have a tank flanking around. I should have just carried on backing up the hill. So, I mean, look, we can't get this tank. If we go up even this little hill, we can't hit the tank in front of us. Now, we are going to die very quickly. Look, we're going to face hug. And even face hugging, we're going to look in a minute, we are going to struggle to hit. We can literally, look, we have to back up and we still can't get the tank. And that is just shocking. It really is shockingly bad. I know some people do like the tank, but for me, it's one of the worst tanks in the entire game, and it's not worth nothing. I mean, as I've said, the only way I'd get this tank is if Wargaming said, yeah, have the tank for free. But cheers, mate. This battle here, we're going to have, I think we're going to have like 3 shots and 3 kills. So there's one, there goes the T-34 AT5. Now the enemy have only got 4 tanks left alive, so we're just going to go forward. We are full health, we've only bounced a little bit. Now the Vindicator is, the Vindicator is very troll armor wise, but every time I seem to drive it, I hardly ever bounce. But when I come up against one, I'm always bouncing it. I mean, it's so confusing to some people because they don't know where to pen the tank. They don't know where to shoot. All the front, it doesn't look pennable. Nice HE damage there to the STRV. So that is our second shot, and we're on 1200 damage. And I think we're actually going to have, we're not going to be able to get this STRV. He is going to run away, unfortunately. The speed of the tank is actually okay for a big, massive, bulldozing, ugly-looking tank. The speed is not so bad. But I think if this had like 6 degrees of gun depression, or even 5, then I don't think it would be so bad. But while it's got nothing, it's definitely, for me, not worth buying. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Good luck if you do want to buy the tank. I wish you luck. I'm Meadsy69, and I'll catch you soon.